Part 20. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 223. Boom. As Jiren's voice fell, a red light shone out from his palm, and terrifying energy bombs wrapped around Gaku's body, sending him flying fiercely until he landed next to Vegeta. It seems, it's just a temporary effort. In the audience, the Kaishin of Universe 11 couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Of course, how could it be possible to master that thing so easily? Besides, the nervous expression on the face of the clown god of destruction finally faded away. You know, the ultimate intention skill is something that even they, the god of destruction, cannot master. How could it be possible that a human can master it? Could it be that the ultimate intention kung fu can only be maintained for a short period of time, and what happened to the terrifying power that Jiren just burst out? He actually instantly caught Wukong's full blow with one hand while he was in the ultimate intention kung fu. It's over, isn't even Gaku's new form a match for Jiren? This force is so powerful that humans cannot resist it? The only solution is to delay it. I hope Kakarot and the others can win. Jiren is such a terrifying monster. Ha ha ha, go to hell with Universe 7, go to hell Kakarot, Jiren is the strongest warrior in the universe. 863. By the way, what is the use of the ultimate intention kung fu, and why are those Kaishin and the god of destruction so surprised? Come on, Kakarot, Vegeta. I hope to see Vegeto appear. If it is Vegeto, he will definitely be able to defeat Jiren. Upstairs, Jiren's strength hasn't been fully demonstrated yet. I'm afraid even Vegeta may not be his opponent. That's right, Jiren's strength is like a bottomless pit, bottomless. At that moment, Jiren's aura reached an unimaginable level. It was so huge. I had never seen such a huge aura before. At this moment, countless barrages flashed across the screen. Most people were lamenting Jiren's power, and some loyal fans of Kakarot also supported him as always, but it was obvious that they were not satisfied with Wukong's defeat. Kakarot, there is no hope anymore. The only hope now is Vegeto, the strongest fused warrior in the universe. Apart from him, no one present can defeat Jiren, except Kakarot. He can surpass the limit again and reach a stronger point, but this kind of thing is almost impossible. It seems, after all, the ultimate freedom skill is just a short-lived flash in the pan. It is really impossible for that guy Wukong to master this kind of skill. Maybe it is luck. In the world of Dragon Ball, Beerus sighed heavily, with a little sadness on his face. In the future, he will have to face a terrifying player like Jiren. Who else in Universe 7 can compete with him? Now it seems that only if Wukong surpasses the limit again and reaches the first level of perfect self-used ultimate intention kung fu, can he hope to defeat Jiren, but this difficulty is too difficult. On the side, Weiss also rarely shook his head, feeling a little uncomfortable. After all, if the 7th universe is eliminated, Beerus will also be eliminated, and even the gourmet holy land of Earth will be destroyed. He will be very sad and lonely. The scene continued to play. During the gap between Jiren and Wukong, Hit launched an attack on Jiren, but Jiren still easily resisted it. What does the killer of the 6th universe do? Looking at Hit in front of him, Jillian's face was full of calm, without any waves. Come to work, Hit's faint voice came out, his heart unmoved. Facing the extremely powerful Jiren, as a qualified killer, he would not show any fear in front of him. Tell me quickly, what happened just now? On the other side, looking at Gaku who collapsed on the ground, Vegeta folded his arms and asked. I don't really know it myself, but I feel like all my strength has been exhausted. However, before Wukong could finish his words, his body suddenly disappeared from where he was. When the camera turned, Gaku saw an extremely sinister face. The purple light in Frisia's hand kept shining. This reminds me of what happened on Namek. Don't you even have the strength to escape? That would be so convenient. Looking at this scene, everyone in the world and the warriors in the Dragon Ball world couldn't help but change their expressions. This guy Frieza actually tried to kill Goku while Goku was running out of power. Damn it, this guy shouldn't have been allowed to compete in the first place, it's so hateful. Oh, hee, this Yin monkey finally fell into my hands. Go to hell and kill him in the future me. Located deep in the universe, Frieza's face was filled with an unbridled smile, and his whole body felt extremely excited. However, what is unexpected is that, in the picture, as Frieza's voice fell, the dazzling purple light in his hand instantly fell towards Goku's body, and the tyrannical power instantly enveloped Goku's body. But the imaginary scene of Goku being killed did not happen. Instead, Goku received some breath from Frieza. I have strength. Holding his palm tightly, Goku's face was full of surprise, and he understood Frieza's actions in an instant. I gave you a little bit of my breath. With your ability, you can move. From then on, we will have nothing to do with each other. You should work hard from now on, especially when you are entangled with that monster named Jiren. Looking at Goku's figure, Frieza showed an evil smile on his face, then turned his back and continued, you do your best, work hard. In this regard, most people in the world feel incredible, and their hearts are full of doubts. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. Why did Frieza change his temper? Shouldn't he kill Kakarot? However, some people still understand Frieza's intentions. After all, killing Kakarot now really has no benefit to him at all. Apart from making himself happy, is there any other use? But if you give Kakarot a little breath, then Kakarot can continue to deal with Jiren, and he can reap the benefits. After all, if Universe 7 loses, he will not be spared either and will be wiped out by the king. It's unbelievable that this guy Frieza actually changed his temper. In the Dragon Ball world, the faces of Krillin and others were full of doubts, and they were very puzzled by Frieza's behavior. Bastard, why don't you kill that Saiyan monkey? Damn it, you are such a big idiot. Deep in the universe, Frieza's face was filled with anger and frustration, unable to understand his future behavior. It seems that Frieza is still useful, so let's not destroy him. In the God of Destruction, Beerus raised his eyebrows and nodded with satisfaction. 0. No matter what Frieza's future purpose is, at least his actions now are for Universe 7, and that's fine. As the scene continued to change, Jillian faced off against Hit. However, in front of Jillian, Hit's flashing skills were not used at all. Even if he used brand new moves, stored his own time, and chained G in the cell of time, he was still no match for Jiren. Instead, he was knocked off the ring. After defeating Hit, Jiren also confidently stated that there was no opponent in the ring who needed his action, and then began to meditate. On the other side, Vegeta also faced off against Toppo, while Goku faced off against Kel and Caulifla. Faced with the siege of the two, Wukong did not panic at all. Instead, he easily suppressed the opponent with his super high combat experience. However, because the opponent had the earrings given by Xiongpo before, the two merged and became Kefla. And because King Quan wanted to watch the two of them fight, he acquiesced in using the earrings on the two of them. In response to this, many people in the world couldn't help but start to complain, but no matter how much they complained, it was of little use. Kefla in normal state was unable to resist even Goku in Super Sailor God state, so Goku transformed into Super Blue form. Boom! As the green aura exploded from Kefla's body, he also transformed into a Super Saiyan green form, and the aura on his body expanded to the extreme, no less than Vegeta when he fought against Majin Buu. Bang 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 bang. As the two stepped forward, a stream of blue and green light appeared in everyone's eyes. The two of them started a fierce battle. Countless energy bombs were continuously blasted from their hands, and the terrifying aftermath continued to sweep across the whole arena. But, facing such a fierce battle, Jiren, who was in a meditative state, remained unmoved. Boom! As the red and blue flames exploded around Wukong, even though he was as strong as Kefla, he was still no match for Wukong in Kaioken's super blue form, and was blown away by the opponent with a heavy punch. Even Xiongpa outside the court couldn't help but complain, "I can't beat you with Butra's earrings. I won't forgive you." However, after Kefla stood up in 1.0, her hands gathered together. Two powerful energy bombs were thrown at Wukong, and Wukong also used turtle-style Qigong to offset Kefla's attack. But what is unexpected is that Kefla seized this opportunity, teleported behind Wukong, and then suddenly landed a kick on Wukong's face. The terrifying power directly knocked Wukong back to normal, flying backwards heavily. "Although I kind of want to fight you for a while longer, this is a competition and I should put up with you." Looking at the fallen Wukong, Kefla's voice came out faintly. "No. It's not over yet." Slowly stood up, Wukong's eyes were full of determination, and a powerful force in his body began to move. "Then fully experience my power." As Kefla's voice fell, several energy bombs packed with powerful power rushed towards Wukong in an instant. However, different from the imagined scene of Wukong being knocked away, the exciting and majestic music sounded again. Wukong's body was once again surrounded by a white light and shadow, and then his hands turned into several afterimages and the energy bullets flew away easily. Looking at this scene, countless spectators from all over the world suddenly widened their eyes, their faces filled with disbelief. This is taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 224. No doubt. At this moment, countless strong men in the world, as well as warriors, Kaioshins, gods of destruction, angels, etc. in the Dragon Ball world all confirmed Wukong's current state. This wonderful state is called the ultimate freedom of mind. It's just a coincidence. It must have happened to you. There won't be a second chance. This time I'm going to hit you hard. In the picture, looking at Wukong, who easily dodged his attack, Kefla's face was filled with disbelief. A destructive wave suddenly spread in his hand, and 6 light green energy bombs filled with the aura of destruction. It was condensed again, boom. Without the slightest feeling, Kefla instantly blasted the 6 light green energy bombs in her hand towards Wukong's direction. The tyrannical energy cut through the atmosphere and rushed towards Wukong fiercely. Go. However, facing another fierce attack from Kefla, Wukong closed his eyes tightly and his body was like a ghost. When the energy bomb was about to hit him, he easily dodged it in a strange and incomparable state. Boom. As the violent explosion sounded, looking at Wukong's figure, Kefla couldn't help but shed a drop of cold sweat on her face, her eyes fixed on the scene in front of her. Buzz. As the holy white light shines out with Wukong as the center, Wukong's eyes slowly open again, and his whole body is surrounded by a hot white light. The space is constantly distorted, as if it is burned by the white holy light. The aura on his body became extremely silent again, as dead as the abyss. The ultimate freedom of mind. How can it be? In the audience, all the warriors and the angels of destruction had their eyes widened, their faces extremely shocked. Even Beerus had an expression of gnashing his teeth in disbelief. It seems that Wukong has once again broken through himself. I didn't expect to see it again here. In the audience of Universe 7, Weiss's eyes were full of solemnity, and he felt extremely shocked in his heart. You know, in his opinion, it is already very remarkable that Wukong can surpass the limit once and reach the state of ultimate freedom. The second time, it will be almost impossible. But, the scene before our eyes actually happened. This guy Wukong once again exceeded everyone's expectations. Let me take a good look at your ultimate intention Kung Fu, Wukong. Standing up, the god of destruction Beerus's face was full of excitement, and he couldn't help but move his muscles. A strong fighting spirit was burning in his body. If he was a little jealous just now, then now he really wants to have a battle with Wukong in this form to test his ultimate freedom skill. However, this idea is obviously impossible, so let him experience Wukong's ultimate free will power. At this moment, not only Beerus felt excited, but also countless spectators in the world felt extremely excited. They felt that their blood was constantly burning, and their souls and hearts were constantly roaring. As he stood, his whole body trembled with excitement. Kakarot. What kind of powerful power will this man who shocked them time and time again bring to them this time? Returning to the battlefield, Wukong's body jumped back slightly and landed on a small mountain not far away. The hot white flames around him continued to burn everything around him, and the hot white mist continued to rise. As Wukong's roar resounded throughout the world, an unparalleled powerful aura suddenly erupted from his body. A holy and powerful white light suddenly rose into the sky, and terrifying hurricanes continued. With it as the center, it continuously swept out, and the powerful aura was like a wild beast, which was daunting. You can't beat me anymore. Looking at Kefla on the ground, Wukong's faint voice spread throughout the heavens, and the unparalleled power overwhelmed the entire Wu realm and enveloped the entire dimension. At this moment, countless strong men in the heavens and worlds where Wukong was shocked by the powerful power in his body. It was a powerful aura that far surpassed the previous one. That Kefla was really vulnerable in front of him. As for why Wukong would burst out the ultimate intention Kung Fu again, Weiss in the picture also said that it should be activated by Kefla. Her huge aura was equivalent to the energy of a vitality bomb explosion, which inspired Wukong, allowing Wukong to break through his own limits again. Although you are strong, I am still the strongest. In the picture, Kefla's body also came to the small mountain peak that was almost parallel to Wukong, and then the green flame suddenly exploded around him, and the blue thunder continued to surround him, and the powerful aura continued. Destroying everything around it, it poured out like a violent storm. As Kefla's aura continued to rise, a blue and a green light pillar penetrated the entire Wuja, and invisible fluctuations continued to spread out in the void, covering the entire realm of Wu. The second level of Super Saiyan Green is on. Take the move and let you see how powerful I am. As Kefla's voice fell, her body suddenly shot towards the direction of Wukong. Her fists turned into countless after-images and continued to blast towards Wukong's body. In an instant, she blasted out tens of thousands of fists. However, under the shocked gazes of many people in the world, Kefla tried her best, but Wukong, who was under the power of the ultimate intention Kung Fu, easily dodged it. He couldn't even touch the corner of his clothes. Kakarot's actions, he saw through Kefla's move, as if his body reacted naturally. This couldn't be. Vegeta, who was watching the two fighting in the distance, couldn't help but recall the words Whis said when he was training them on the Star of Destruction. At this moment, Vegeta finally understood what Goku's state was at this moment, and he couldn't help but start to think deeply. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Filu Novel Network. In the battlefield, Kefla kept chasing Wukong, and the red energy bombs kept blasting towards Wukong. However, it was still as useless as ever, and even in Wukong's direction. There was no resistance at all under the counter-attack. Ha ha ha, what happened? The punch just now. Jumping out of the ruins, Kefla looked at Wukong and couldn't help laughing and said, it seems that you are just bluffing. The actual attack is nothing special. You are far more than this, son Wukong. Yes, I really want to master something, the ultimate freedom of mind. Looking at his fist, the white light around Wukong suddenly flashed again, and the aura on his body suddenly increased again. As a result of this phenomenon, even Jiren, who was meditating, opened his eyes and came to the side of the Pride team members. At this moment, with Goku's power, even Jiren couldn't meditate safely. After all, This powerful force cannot be solved by other members of the Pride team. Only if he takes action can he be sure to defeat the opponent. That's great, Goku is so powerful that even Jiren can't sit still. In the world of Dragon Ball, Krillin couldn't help but reveal an excited smile. From this point of view, Goku is still a great threat to Jiren, and their seventh universe really has a chance to win. And this is similar to the scene is also constantly happening in other worlds, especially the protagonists with passionate personalities, who are even more revelry. Look at me, son Wukong. In the picture, as Kefla's voice fell, Wukong's eyes suddenly locked on Kefla's figure. With his step, a white light seemed to jump through time and instantly appeared in front of Kefla. Behind his back. Boom 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 boom. Without the slightest hesitation, in Kefla's frightened eyes, Wukong instantly blasted out thousands of fist shadows, and the terrifying power fell on him without any reservation. Into Kefla's abdomen, the unparalleled force and severe pain suddenly blasted Kefla out. Boom. As a huge pothole appeared, Kefla covered her abdomen, feeling in her heart I felt extremely frightened. However, before Kefla could make any extra moves, Wukong's body suddenly exploded forward again, and appeared in front of her in an instant, causing her to hurriedly use her arms to resist Wukong's attack. What's wrong? Just these 2 moments. As Wukong's voice fell, Kefla suddenly kicked out, but Wukong easily dodged it, and then kicked him away with a sudden kick. The terrifying power caused it to continuously smash into the mountains. It turns out that on the ground, looking at his fist, Wukong suddenly punched out in the direction of Kefla. The terrifying fist wind instantly penetrated the atmosphere, and he rushed towards Kefla who was flying upside down. It landed on his abdomen without the slightest surprise. However, Wukong was very confused about his own power. Why? I can perfectly use the ultimate freedom skill when evading, but when I attack, I can't control it. If Kefla is not defeated, his physical strength will most likely be exhausted. The next move will be the last. Looking at Kefla's figure, Wukong's faint voice slowly spread throughout the world. And as Wukong's voice fell, the passionate music sounded again. Damn it, it's not over yet, it won't end like this. With Kefla's roar, green flames suddenly roared and exploded around him. The powerful aura seemed to have no end, and it continued to expand violently. The unparalleled powerful aura instantly swept through the heavens and the world, causing countless the strong men were ashamed. Unexpectedly, they are actually worse than a woman. As the angry Kefla continued to explode, the red and green flames continued to overlap, and countless red rays of light continued to shoot out, rushing towards Wukong's direction. Each one was enough to seriously injure Wukong. But, in the eyes of Wukong, who has entered the self-free ultimate intention Kung Fu, these red rays of light appear extremely slow. Even touching his hair is the lucky one. Constantly dodging Kefla's attacks, Wukong's hands the blue light waves continued to condense, and the battle between the two reached the final climax. The terrifying energy continued to spread out, bombarding everything around them. However, in front of Wukong who was under the power of the ultimate intention Kung Fu, Kefla's attacks were still useless. Instead, Wukong continued to easily dodge them. You can't hide even in the air, I won. Looking at Wukong's figure in mid-air, the terrifying energy in Kefla's hands continued to gather, and the aura in his body increased to the extreme at this moment. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 225. Boom. Under the frightened gazes of countless strong men in the world, 2 red and green overlapping energies in Kefla's hands continued to twine upwards, and suddenly blasted towards the direction where Wukong was charging. The terrifying power instantly penetrated the void, fell rapidly, carrying unparalleled terrifying energy. However, what everyone didn't expect was that Wukong's body suddenly flipped in mid-air. He used the blue Qigong wave in his hand to prop himself up, and moved smoothly across Kefla and blasted out the energy wave, completing a beautiful move. Turned around and came to Kefla. Turtle, group, gas, achievement, wave. Without any hesitation, the azure blue light wave in Wukong's hand fell on Kefla's body without reservation in Kefla's disbelieving gaze. The azure blue light burst out suddenly, carrying a devastating force. Power continued to envelope her whole body. Boom! As the blue light waves continued to knock Kefla's body away, the hard and huge ring suddenly shattered under this unprecedented Qigong wave. And Kefla's earrings were also turned into pieces under the envelope of Qigong waves. Looking at this scene, the strong men from all major dimensions couldn't help but froze in place, their eyes widened, their faces full of disbelief, and their mouths enough to hold several eggs. Is this okay? Isn't this too silky? Did you eat dove? Card, Kakarot, I thought he would be hit by Qigong waves, but I didn't expect him to show off to me like this. In the world of Naruto, Minato Namikaze, who was in the belly of the ghoul, couldn't help but froze on the spot. You know, he is one of the most powerful men in the ninja world, and his flying thunder god is extremely smooth. But, compared with Kakarot, who was in the ultimate state of freedom, he seemed extremely insignificant. You said you can't compare in terms of strength, forget it, now you can't even compare in terms of operation, it's really irritating to compare with others. Good, it's so awesome. This guy Kakarot actually used the turtle Qigong wave to cross Kefla's Qigong. It's so cool. In the pirate world, Luffy and his team's eyes kept flashing with golden light, and the expressions on their faces were extremely admiring. If possible, they would also like to try this operation. This set of operations is so smooth, it is so cool, I give it 100 points. In the fairy tale world, the girls in the guild kept exclaiming, and some even called for giving Gaku a monkey. Even Myra Jane and Urza couldn't help but blush. It wasn't just them. Countless women in all the worlds were trembling all over due to this perfect operation show, and they collapsed on the ground and kept twitching. Waves of happy feelings kept invading their whole bodies. The race of Saiyans is really terrifying. This kind of physique makes me feel no less powerful than some holy bodies. It is simply too perverted. In the world of one leaf covering the sky, the ancient supreme beings in the restricted area of life couldn't help but complain. These Saiyans are so perverted. What about Super 1, Super 2, Super 3, Super Saiyan God, Super Blue, etc.? What kind of Go Ba's Haji Gong is there? It's so abnormal. Every time he changes form, his strength suddenly increases. Now Wukong's strength is not inferior to some ordinary emperors. If he goes further, that would be incredible. Kakarot, he is really a guy born for fighting. With such an amazing talent, he is bound to become an immortal. If given the chance, he may be able to reach the level of the immortal king. In the 9 heavens and 10 earths, Meng Tianzhen's eyes couldn't help but reveal a hint of shock. Become an immortal. That is a realm that he has not been able to achieve. Although it is also due to one's own reasons and the problems of the world, there is no doubt that failure to become an immortal means failure to become an immortal. But the Kakarot in front of me is different. His qualifications are really terrible, and his will is extremely firm. If time passes, if he does not fall, he will be an immortal king. This guy Wukong gives us a big surprise every time. In the world of Dragon Ball, Klin and others couldn't help but smile bitterly, and couldn't help but find it a bit funny to worry about just now. Gaku is now so powerful that they don't need to worry. Now, all they have to do is look at Wukong and follow his footsteps. This guy Sun Wukong always gives people unexpected surprises. In the God of Destruction, Beerus couldn't help but have a faint smile on his face. Indeed, he was actually able to use the ultimate intention kung fu twice in this power conference. I am afraid that after this competition, he is very likely to master the ultimate intention kung fu perfectly. Besides, Weiss couldn't help but sigh. The first time can be said to be an accident and luck. But it was different the second time. It was not caused by luck, but because Wukong did have a lot of accumulation to be able to explode like this. My future self is so powerful. This self-extreme intention kung fu is really terrifying. It is much, much more powerful than the Super Saiyan God. In the northern Kaiwang, Wukong looked at his future appearance and couldn't help but sigh. Over, it's over, even Kefla has been defeated, our sixth universe is doomed. Different from other people's reactions, Xiongpa's face was full of fear, and his heart couldn't help but feel cold. There are only 2 Namekians left on the field now, and their sixth universe is expected to GG soon. As the picture continued to change, Wukong couldn't help but kneel on the ground after defeating Kefla, constantly panting, while Beg's face was extremely angry, and his fist suddenly hit the mountain nearby. If you can do it, I will definitely be able to do it. I want to be able to control it freely before you do, Kakarot. And it just so happened that the Kamen Rider from the third universe fell in love with Vegeta, and then transformed into the second B form, with power 300 times normal. And Vegeta felt that the Zhi Gong was just fighting without thinking. So I put my hands down, closed my eyes, and let my mind go. Hiss. Looking at this scene, many people in the world couldn't help but take a breath. To read exciting novels, go to Feel a Novel Network. Difficult, could it be that? Is Vegeta also going to use the ultimate intention kung fu? In the picture, Vegeta thought that his body would automatically dodge the attack, but in the next second he was punched away by Mask Superman, and then he was beaten up directly. Everyone in the world, his eyes were severely slapped in the face. After being beaten by Fatty, Vegeta realized that standing up and beating the enemy would be a fool, wouldn't he? I don't want to study the nonsense of Zhi Gong. This kind of mindless fighting is not suitable for me at all. So, Vegeta killed the Kamen Rider, and as the screen continued to change, contestants from other universes were also constantly eliminated. 6th universe, 2nd universe, 4th universe, 3rd universe. They were also wiped out by King Quan one after another. The moment before Xiongpa was wiped out, he couldn't help but shout "Brother" to Beerus, then made a grimace and disappeared into the audience. In the end, only the players from Universe 7 and Universe 11 were left in the ring, namely Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, number 17, and Gohan. The contestants from Universe 11 are Jiren, Tispo and Topo. Under the watchful eye of everyone, the Conference of Power has finally entered its final stage. The showdown between Universe 11 and Universe 7 will finally begin, and there are only 9 minutes left. At this moment, most of the powerful people in the world felt an oppressive heaviness, and a strange atmosphere continued to fill the surroundings. Seeing those 6 universes being wiped out continuously, their hearts were filled with emotions. However, the most important thing right now is the final battle. Will Universe 7 win? Or will Universe 11 win? This Conference of Power will also usher in its final conclusion. At this moment, everyone's eyes are focused on Jiren. If the power of the king and the great priest is invincible to an extent that is beyond comprehension, then this man named Jiren, his power shocked everyone. It is a real thing, an existence that rivals the god of destruction in a mortal body. Although many people believe in Wukong, in this monster-like powerful opponent, everyone no longer has the same blind trust as before. Because Jiren's power is beyond their knowledge and has reached a height that they cannot understand. This is something that Goku cannot defeat now. Enemy. In the picture, Goku and Jiren walked towards each other in unison, approaching each other step by step until they arrived. Boom! As the sky blue flames exploded around Wukong, the powerful auras of him and Jiren continued to spread, and the surrounding gravel floated in mid-air. The tense atmosphere continued to spread, and the tyrannical auras continued to spread, continuously sweeping through all the heavens and worlds. As a violent explosion sounded, the bodies of Gaku and Jiren suddenly shot out, and they were constantly fighting fiercely in the sky. Different from the powerlessness when Super Blue fought against Jiren, Dihaozhao, for the first time, this time Gaku was actually able to fight Jiren back and forth. It is clear, after entering into the ultimate intention Kung Fu twice, Wukong's Super Blue form entered a new realm, making his understanding of the Super Blue form even more profound. And this state is called Super Blue Full Power. You are really strong, Jiren. Son Wukong, why do you want to become stronger? I don't know, no matter what, I just want to become stronger. Oh, you don't know, what I pursue is something further than becoming stronger. We are the same, I am the same, I just want to be stronger and stronger. After countless collisions, the two bodies separated briefly, and Wukong also excitedly said to Jilianyo 11, let's enter the second round. However, when Wukong was about to explode with all his strength, he transformed into a Super Blue form. Vegeta suddenly rushed towards Jiren. Jiren, show me the power. Ah! Points. He quickly arrived in front of Jiren, and Vegeta's fists and legs kept hitting Jiren's body. It's a pity that under Vegeta's violent attack, Jiren's body didn't even take half a step back. Instead, he easily blew Vegeta away with 2 blows. The difference in strength between the two is such a world of difference that they are not in the same dimension at all. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 226. Looking at this scene, most people in the world felt extremely calm. For this situation, they had already anticipated it when Vegeta rushed over. You know, the previous Super Blue form of Kakarot, and even the Super Blue form of the 20-fold Kaioken, were easily defeated by Jiren. Although Vegeta today is very powerful, compared to Jiren, he is not on the same level. Taking the initiative to rush forward is almost the same as committing suicide. Stupid, doesn't he know the gap between himself and Jiren? How dare this guy Vegeta be so reckless? In Dragon Ball World's God of Destruction, Beerus couldn't help but frown, with some displeasure on his face. Well, it seems that Vegeta was surpassed by Gaku, so the Saiyan Prince's pride made him impulsive again. On Earth, Piccolo and others couldn't help but sigh, with a little helplessness on their faces. They already knew about Vegeta's character. This guy, every time he is surpassed by Gaku, he keeps trying to become stronger, whether it is when he transforms into Super Saiyan, or when he becomes Majin Buu, even now. Future me, do you have any other ideas, located in the spaceship, different from other people's thoughts? Vegeta looked at himself in the picture, his brows couldn't help but wrinkled, and he fell into deep thought. As the saying goes, there is no one who knows him better than himself, although he does have a crush on Kaka. Lot surpassed him and felt very angry, but he would never do anything stupid. It seemed that, my future self should want to break through in the battle with Jiren. After all, they can't kill anyone in the ring, and if they lose, Universe 7 will disappear, so it won't be of much use whether he's alive or not. And if Jiren kills him, then he will be eliminated. If Jiren doesn't kill him, then he can continue to squeeze his potential, and maybe he can surpass himself like Kakarot. 247 Humph, we in Universe 11 will definitely win. Jiren's strength is not as simple as you think. In Universe 11, the clown god of destruction crossed his legs and his face was full of banter. Amazing, awesome, the tournament of power was awesome. In King Kwan's palace, King Kwan watched the group of people fighting with great excitement on his face. Buzz. In the picture, just when Jiren was about to blast a shockwave at Vegeta, Gaku's figure suddenly appeared. He came to his side, and then kicked him out with a sudden kick. Fight me next. With a loud roar, Wukong instantly rushed towards Jiren's direction. Boom 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 boom. Facing Wukong rushing towards him, Jiren's fists turned into countless fist shadows. It blasted out and landed on Goku. Vegeta, who was lying on the ground, looked at the shadow of Jiren's fist and couldn't help but realize something. After sending Wukong flying away, Jiren's body swarmed up again and started fighting with Wukong, and when Vegeta rushed over, Jiren knocked him away with a heavy punch without even turning his head, then he grabbed Vegeta's arms and threw him away like a spinning top. Facing the two people who kept coming forward to entangle, Jiren showed overwhelming strength. So annoying. Looking at the charging Vegeta, Jiren couldn't help but frown slightly, and punched out again with both fists. But just when Jiren's fist was about to fall on Vegeta, the corners of his mouth actually raised slightly. With a faint smile on his face, in the eyes of many people, Vegeta unexpectedly kept dodging Jiren's fists, and then suddenly punched Jiren in the abdomen. Your moves, I've seen it all. Id. Vegeta has clearly seen Jiren's moves through these few collisions. He is the prince of the Saiyans, and he is also a fighting genius. How could it be so much worse than Kakarot? Vegeta. At this moment, countless Vegeta fans and fans who support the Saiyans in all the worlds couldn't help shouting, and the whole world boiled in an instant. Vegeta. That Saiyan the Prince is not a burden. At the same time, Jiren's eyes in the picture couldn't help but widen, his whole body was trembling, and his face was full of disbelief. Although this punch did not cause any harm to him, but he was shaken unexpectedly, and memories of the past could not help but emerge in his heart. Looking at Jiren's appearance, Vegeta's face was also full of excitement and a playful smile. Real, awesome. He broke Jiren's aura, so strong. As expected of Vegeta. In the audience, came Sennin, Tianjin Fan, Piccolo and others could not help but widen their eyes, and their mouths could not help but open slightly, with extremely shocked faces. In the Dragon Ball world, Vegeta in the spaceship couldn't help showing an excited smile. Ecstasy surged in my heart. Ha ha ha, I am the noble prince of the Saiyans, and I am not a pushover. You have seen how powerful I am, Jiren. A big bang. In the picture, Vegeta also exploded with all his power, and his fists continued to fall towards Jiren's body. Jiren, who had been attacked by countless Vegetas, actually at this moment he could only passively resist Vegeta's fierce offensive. Under Vegeta's constant attacks, Jiren's original face showed a look of pain. What's wrong with you, Jiren? In the audience, the clown god of destruction couldn't help shouting anxiously, feeling confused about Jillian's current state. Vegeta, actually have an advantage. The Kaishin on the side also looked extremely shocked. Your eyes are used to vent your anger, right? From Universe 7, on the other side, the Kaishin of Universe 11 couldn't help but frowned, causing the Kaishin's face to turn pale. Probably, maybe Vegeta is using Jiren as his opponent to try the ultimate intention Kung Fu. At this time, Whice's voice came out faintly, with a slight smile on his face. Ah! To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. On the battlefield, Jiren was still resisting Vegeta's attack with difficulty, and was even kicked out by Vegeta, but Vegeta's anger but a voice suddenly came out: when you fight Kakarot, you should be faster and stronger. After being punched away by Jiren, Vegeta suddenly blasted out a purple shockwave, but he was mercilessly slapped away by Jiren, and even more violently beaten by Jiren, who suddenly caught up with him. He was even hit by a terrifying Kigong wave, and was constantly pushed away. Just when Vegeta was about to fall outside the ring, he finally crushed Jiren's shockwave with difficulty and remained in the ring at the last moment. As the smoke continued to dissipate, Vegeta's panting appearance appeared in everyone's eyes. He looked helpless and said with a wry smile, I didn't expect that in such a fierce battle. He didn't even breathe at all. What a veteran, beat the bastard. You can't beat me no matter what. Looking at Vegeta's scarred appearance, Jiren's faint voice came out, and then he clenched his fists and continued, "Your fists are very arrogant, and your self-righteous fighting style does not feel pure at all." Snort. With a cold snort, Vegetas' expression became calmer. "That's all you want to say? Yes, I am arrogant, but to me, this is exactly the pride of being Asian." Ah! With Vegetas' roar, sky blue flames suddenly exploded around him, golden thunder continued to wreak havoc, and a golden light shone in the palm of his hand. Condensed, golden thunder continued to roar out from it, and the destructive aura continued to spread out, sweeping across all major dimensions. "Say I can't beat you. What a joke. I can't lose myself. Let Kakarot use the ultimate intention Kung Fu. I will defeat you in my own way, Jiren." As Vegetas' voice came out, the powerful aura of God continued to rise centered on it, and waves of terrifying hurricanes swept out. Even his hair color actually changed at this moment. It was much deeper. Even Gaku was extremely shocked by this, and felt incredible about Vegetas' aura at this moment. "Jiren, you mocked me repeatedly, are you planning to avoid this?" Compressing the golden ultimate flash in his hand to the extreme, unparalleled destructive fluctuations continued to emit from his hand. "This will be the most powerful ultimate flash ever." Vegetas' words also sounded very familiar to the strong men of all dimensions. Like, every time Vegeta uses this move, he will say something similar, and it seems like everyone will be beaten badly later. "Bring it on," Jillian said calmly. The ultimate flash. As Vegetas' roar came out, the golden shockwave in his hand carried the blue thunder and rushed towards Jiren's direction. The golden beam was like a bright meteor, instantly bombarding him. Jiren's body. Boom. With extremely amazing power, the golden lightning beam instantly penetrated the entire arena and blasted towards Wuzhige's body. The entire starry sky couldn't help but dim at this moment, and the space it was constantly twisting. At this moment, Topo, Gohan, number 17, Tispo, Frieza and others who were fighting all stopped what they were doing and looked at the line that ran through the entire sky. Flash. What a terrifying power this is. Jiren, even Topo, who trusted Jiren so much, couldn't help but change his expression at this moment. As the thick smoke and dust dissipated, Jiren's figure appeared in everyone's eyes, looking as if he was lying there. "Ha, ha ha, ha ha ha. You deserve it. The number one Saiyan in the universe belongs to me." Before Vegeta could finish what he said, his pupils suddenly shrank, his face changed drastically, and his excited heart fell to the bottom. "Vegeta!" As Gaku yelled, Jiren's figure appeared in front of Vegeta at some point. An energy bomb exuding terrifying power in his hand was close to Vegeta's abdomen. Jiren, the man was unscathed. At this moment, most of the audience in the world couldn't help but stand up and looked at Jiren in the screen with disbelief. How can it be? He withstood Vegeta's terrifying ultimate flash head-on, but he didn't suffer any injuries at all. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 227. The power of that move just now is indeed extraordinary. In the picture, faced with Jiren's praise, Vegeta was completely dumbfounded and froze on the spot, completely confused. How can this be? My ultimate flash couldn't even hurt him. In response to this, many people in the world couldn't help but smile bitterly and sighed in their hearts. When they just listened to Vegeta's words, they couldn't help but think of the time when Vegeta used this trick before. Facing Salu and Majin Buu, Vegeta seems to have said similar words, and the final ending seems to be surprisingly similar. Why do I feel that the scene looks a bit familiar? In the world of Dragon Ball, Vegeta looked at Jiren in the picture and couldn't help but swallowed, and his whole body started to tremble involuntarily. It seemed like, before. Has such a scene happened before? And, more than once. Ahem, I remember the situation was similar when fighting Cell and Majin Buu. It was the same when you fought Kakarot at the beginning, but Kakarot's situation at that time was not very good, so, it doesn't really count. Looking at Vegeta's eyes that wanted to kill, Naba couldn't help but swallowed his saliva and closed his mouth knowingly. However, although Naba didn't say anything, he couldn't help laughing in his heart, and even the corners of his mouth couldn't help but raise an arc. Sorry. Generally speaking, no matter how funny things happen to Usians, we will not laugh. Unless you can't help it. Boom. In the picture, as the blazing light filled the entire picture, the blazing light enveloped Vegeta's entire body, enveloping him like a small sundae. The extremely hot and terrifying temperature continued to burn Vegeta. As Vegeta screamed pitifully, his face continued to distort, terrifying energy continued to fill his body, and pain 1,000 times stronger than the unbearable severe pain of ordinary people continued to spread throughout his body. Boom! As an earth-shattering explosion sounded, thick black fog instantly rose into the sky, and terrifying hurricanes continued to sweep out. Vegeta! Amidst Goku's shouts, Vegeta, who had returned to his normal state, collapsed weakly on the ground, his eyes began to blur, and he gradually lost consciousness. Jiren, it's really terrible. Warrior, sleep peacefully. Turning his back, Jiren's faint voice came out, causing Vegeta's eyes to shrink violently, and even the consciousness that was about to fade away actually became sober again. You can't hide it from me, Jiren. Lying on the ground, looking at Jiren's voice, Vegeta's hoarse voice slowly came out. You haven't used your full strength yet. Seeing this, Wukong said to change, and then transformed into the super blue form again, fought with Jiren, and even used Krillin's moves to knock Jiren off the ring along with countless rubbles. However, on the way down together with the gravel, Jiren's whole body glowed with bright red light, and he kept jumping on the gravel with his feet, returning to the ring. After landing, Jiren walked step by step in the direction of Vegeta and Goku. Even the energy mine attack planted by Goku in advance could not stop Jiren's steps. Boom! As soon as Jiren stepped forward, his body suddenly turned into a stream of red light and rushed towards Wukong. He easily suppressed Wukong in an instant and continued to ravage Wukong in his super blue form. Boom! As Wukong broke free from his restraints, the red aura surrounding Jiren turned into a dazzling red light and suddenly rose into the sky. The unparalleled powerful aura continued to rise, and the unparalleled power overwhelmed the entire starry sky, sweeping across in all the heavens and worlds. At this moment, countless viewers were instantly defeated by Jiren's powerful aura. Even the clown god of destruction in the picture couldn't help but sigh, saying that Jiren hadn't seen him like this for a long time. Moment. Once, Wukong and Jiren collided fiercely. The two fists kept blasting out. The scope of the battle instantly spread to the entire ring, and they continued to wreak havoc. Just when the two figures separated again, Jiren's right fist was wrapped in a golden light, and then suddenly blasted towards Goku. Boom 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 boom. An extremely terrifying fist power instantly penetrated the entire ring, scaring Wukong back to his normal state. Then, Jiren suddenly waved his fists towards Wukong, who had returned to normal. Countless red punches landed on Wukong's body, sending him flying away. It's just Jiren's pure punching power. Looking at this scene, Saitama, who was in the world of One Punch Man, couldn't help but kneel to the ground, his face full of shock. Compared to Jiren's punching power, his serious punch was like a mayfly shaking a tree. It didn't even reach 1/10,000,000th of Jiren's strength. Such a huge gap, it's a pity that he was still bored because he was too invincible before. This is simply a frog in a well, sitting in a well and looking at the sky. At the same time, facing such a powerful Jiren, Vegeta also stood up and joined forces with Goku to fight Jiren. Watch it, Jiren. As the two of them roared at the same time, sky blue flames suddenly exploded around them. The entire starry sky couldn't help but dim at this moment. The two of them entered the super blue form at the same time, and violent sonic booms continued. All the audience's ears rang, and the whole screen was shaking continuously. Boom! The red and blue flames suddenly exploded around Gaku again, and Gaku activated the Kaio Fist. And Vegeta, in order to comply the previous promise made to Gabe, the Saiyan from Universe 6, was to obtain the Super Dragon Balls and resurrect them in order to achieve the final victory. I must keep my agreement with that guy. To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. So, I will use my method to exceed the limit. The next moment, in everyone's shocked eyes, the dazzling dark blue light suddenly expanded violently around Vegeta. His hair color changed from the original blue to dark blue, and his aura suddenly expanded to ultimate. In from the side of the dark blue sky. The whole world. As the camera came to Vegeta, accompanied by the magnificent music, the light around Vegeta turned into a deep blue, and the hair and eyebrows on the top of his head were raised high, until his pupils turned into dark blue. At this moment, Vegeta was like a god descending into the world, extremely sacred. That's all I have, Jiren. And this is Vegeta's power beyond the limit. Beyond the limit of Super Saiyan God Blue. Exclusively for Vegeta, Super Saiyan God's dark blue form. Looking at Vegeta, who was surrounded by dark blue flames and like a sky full of stars, countless strong men in the world and warriors from the Dragon Ball world stood up one after another. Unlike Goku's Super Blue Kaio Fist form and the Ultimate Intention Kung Fu, Vegeta is now completely standing at the pinnacle of the Saiyans and has obtained a new form of Super Saiyan God. Moreover, the aura is far better than before. Even Goku in the form of Super Blue Kaio Fist is far inferior to Vegeta at the moment. In the picture, facing Goku in the Super Blue Kaio Fist form and Vegeta in the dark blue form, even Jiren's face was full of solemnity, not daring to be careless at all. These two Saiyans who have surpassed their own limits have reached a level where they can fight with themselves. Bring it on. As Jiren's voice fell, the passionate music background suddenly sounded. In an instant, Jiren violently collided with Vegeta and Goku, and the three people's intertwined fist shadows turned into one. Golden bolts of lightning kept roaring out. Ah-da-da-da-da-da. Facing the fierce offensive of Goku and Vegeta with tacit understanding, even Jiren instantly fell into a disadvantage. He was forced to retreat, and was even blown away by their combined punch. Their punches are getting sharper. Standing up, the three of them collided fiercely together again. Facing Goku and Vegeta, who were trying their best, golden light condensed on Jiren's fists, knocking Goku and Vegeta at the same time. Forced to exit. Boom. With the final blow, the three figures separated again and were located in two parts of the ring. At this moment, the counter-attack against Jiren finally began. Goku challenged from the front, Vegeta challenged, putting all their strength into it. The two men's power exceeded the limit, and they pressed on Jiren step by step. Can Goku and Vegeta defeat Jiren? Looking at the three people confronting each other in front of them, there are countless strong men from all dimensions. They all stood up, feeling that the blood in their bodies became extremely hot, and a monstrous fighting spirit burst out from their bodies. At this moment, their souls and hearts were infected by the fierce battle between the three of them. Fairy Tail Guild, Guardian, the 13th team of the court, the shadow-level warriors of the past, the Golden Saints, the four emperors, the three navy generals, and the pillar-level warriors. Spell Return World, Shaman King World, Shape Moon World, Madoka Magica World, Date Alive World, Inuyasha World, Martial Arts World, High Martial Arts World, Aura Resurrection World, Film and Television World, Xiangxia World, Fantasy World, etc. Wait. Countless strong men in all the worlds widened their eyes, trying to remember the battle in front of them very clearly in their minds. They can feel their own desire and madness for this battle, as if they were born to witness this battle. Moreover, this battle will bring them great benefits. Whether they can break through their own limits and reach a new realm and level may be in the picture. At this moment, even the ancient supreme being in the restricted area of life, the mortal immortal on the road to immortality, the supreme being in the perfect world, the true immortal, and even the immortal king were all watching the three people. Even war reporter Chu Luli, as well as Huang Tiandi and Ye Tiandi who were blocking the spring water, all turned their attention to the three of them and looked at them with interest. In the Dragon Ball world, everyone looked nervously at the three people in the picture. Which universe, Universe 7 or Universe 11, can survive? Next, let's watch the duel between the three of them. If Goku and Vegeta win, Universe 7 wins. If Jiren wins, Universe 7 will be destroyed. This is a matter of life and death for the entire universe. No one dares to be careless at this moment, and everyone will go all out to face the enemy Jean Lu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 228. It all depends on you, Goku and Vegeta. If you don't defeat that guy Jiren, there will be no victory for Universe 7. In the picture, as Barris's voice fell in the audience, Goku and Vegeta's footsteps suddenly rushed towards Jiren's direction again. After evading Jiren's blazing energy bomb attack, Vegeta he took the lead and punched Jiren. Bang! The two fists collided, and the power from their whole bodies continued to emerge, and Goku also appeared behind Jiren through teleportation. With the movements of Vegeta and Goku, attacking together, Jiren's body was kicked out suddenly again. Boom 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 boom. Rushing towards the direction where Jiren flew upside down, the three of them fought together again. After Wukong and under Vegeta's joint attack, Jiren was once at a disadvantage. Even Krillin and others in the audience were extremely excited. Turtle-style Kigong Wave. The ultimate flash. As two loud shouts came out, azure blue light waves and golden beams were wrapped with unparalleled terrifying energy, covering the entire scene and blasting towards Jiren's direction. The power of these two was so tyrannical that it made people palpitate. Zhao, in this inventory video, everyone has seen it countless times, almost lost count. But this time, it was the strongest Kigong wave produced by Goku's Super Blue Kaio Fist and Deep Blue Vegeta's 497. The two rays of light were condensed to the extreme, instantly covering Jiren's figure. In. Boom. As an earth-shattering explosion sounded, layers of terrifying aftermath spread out, instantly shattering the surrounding mountains. Thick black mist continued to rise, and the entire arena couldn't help but tremble. Looking at this scene, the strong men from all major dimensions naturally knew that Jiren would not be defeated so easily. After all, from the review of the video to now, it seems that the greater the power of the Kigong wave, the wider the range it causes. As long as the thick smoke rises, it will basically not be a serious problem. And this set of laws has also been recognized by many viewers in the world as the law of smoke without harm. Certainly, this is for those powerful opponents, those ordinary or weak guys are not included. Boom. Sure enough, just as the audience had guessed, a blazing red light pillar rose into the sky, and countless rubbles covering Jiren suddenly turned into dust, and Jiren's unharmed appearance appeared in front of everyone's eyes. I see, I have seen your power. As Jiren's voice fell, the three of them moved at the same time, and their bodies suddenly collided together again. The blazing white light instantly illuminated most of the arena. At the same time, Frieza, Gohan and Tissot also fought. Stand up, in the end, in Frieza's golden form, he knocked out the super speed warrior Tissot from the ring in the same way that Gohan fell into the ring. On the other side, number 17 was being chased by Toppo. Seeing that there was very little game time left, number 17 decided to use his infinite energy like a perpetual motion machine to wildly blast Qigong waves at Topo. Afterwards, Frisia, who had eliminated Topo, reunited with number 17, and the two teamed up to continuously attack Topo. Boom! As number 17 and Frisia combined their energy waves, a blazing dazzling light illuminated the entire arena. The terrifying explosion caused Topo's battle suit to be blasted, and his body fell to the ground and continued to tremble. Breathing heavily. Oh, he is indeed a warrior of justice. Arriving in front of Topo, Frisia crossed his arms and spoke to Topo in an extremely frivolous tone. But, you are in such a mess like this. Your body is like garbage, and garbage should be put in the trash can. Weak justice, go outside the ring. I will throw you out very gently, huh? Under Frisia's surprised gaze, Topo's huge body stood up again, and the tattered uniform on his body was thrown off. In response, Frisia then mockingly said that your stubbornness is worthy of recognition, it's just a pity that the justice uniform you were so proud of has become like this. No more. Justice, I don't want it anymore, I've made up my mind. As Topo's voice fell, purple light emerged around him, and an unparalleled powerful aura continued to spread, instantly attracting Gaku, Vegeta, and Jiren. Even in the audience Ruth was extremely shocked. How could it be possible, how could something like that happen? As Topo's roar spread throughout the world, the entire world was enveloped in dazzling golden light at this moment. Countless blue thunders continued to bombard Topo's body, and countless gravels continued to hit him. The whole body floated, and the terrifying aura of God continued to rise. With purple eyes and muscles that expanded several dimensions, Topo's aura continued to surpass Jiren. A dazzling golden light instantly rose into the sky and penetrated the entire Wuzhija. The entire world dimmed at this moment. In the light, Topo's body reflected a strange and dazzling purple pattern, and his eyes completely turned purple at this moment. Boom! As the golden light instantly exploded, Topo's body turned into burnt black coals. Purple light continued to surround him, and the pattern on his chest also changed from purple to red. He was unparalleledly powerful. The power and powerful aura like a wild beast instantly swept through the heavens and all realms, leaving countless strong men stunned. What's going on with this feeling? Looking at Topo's strange behavior, No 17's face was full of doubts, and his eyes were extremely solemn. Although he didn't know what strange things happened to Topo, but the shocking and powerful aura and the unparalleled sense of oppression had to make him solemn. In response to this, the strong men from all major dimensions were also shocked by Topo at this moment, and the expressions on their faces were extremely horrified. Topo at this moment. The feeling it gave them was exactly the same as when Beerus took action. But, Beerus is the god of destruction. Why does this Topo have such a terrifying aura? Is Topo also the god of destruction? But this is impossible, the clown god of destruction from Universe 11 is still there. To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. Destroy, that's the power of destruction. In the picture, Beerus stood up suddenly, looking at Topo at the ring, his voice trembling slightly. The ability to destroy, when Klin and others were confused. On the side, the god of destruction and Kaishin of Universe 11 couldn't help but smile and explain, that's right, the power only belongs to our god of destruction, and Topo, he is the candidate god of destruction of our 11th universe. Topo made up his mind and became the god of destruction, which means Topo, the god of destruction, was born. Hearing this, everyone in the 7th universe and the audience watching the scene couldn't help but feel their hearts sinking. God of destruction Topo. It seems that Universe 7 still has a long way to go before it can win. Ha ha ha, what a god of destruction means nothing to me, Golden Frisia. In the picture, Frisia couldn't help laughing after hearing what the gods were talking about, his face full of disdain. 0. In response, Topo slowly raised his palm, and a purple destructive energy continued to condense in his palm. Destroy. As Topo's faint voice fell, the huge purple-black destructive energy ball flew in the direction of Frisia. I have already experienced the power of destruction, and one hand is enough to deal with it. Looking at the purple-black energy ball bombarding him, Frisia confidently followed up the attack with one hand. But at this moment, Frisia's expression suddenly changed, and purple-black energy light balls continued to envelope him. Ah 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 ah! Amidst Frisia's pitiful screams, the purple-black ball of light suddenly expanded, and purple streams of light continued to surge out. At this moment, the entire arena was enveloped in golden light. Countless black and white particles continued to cross the screen, and terrifying hurricanes continued to sweep across the entire Ouija. The dazzling light briefly blinded everyone present and the audiences in the world. This moment, the originally dark and empty starry sky of Wuxija took on a beautiful appearance under the destructive energy of Topo. The entire arena was completely torn apart because it could not withstand the destructive energy. The power of the god of destruction. So scary. What an overwhelming force this is. At this moment, the audience in all the worlds were shocked, was frightened by Topo's terrifying strength and destructive power. Break, Topo, the god of destruction, is so terrifying. In Dochi continent, countless strong men from Dozone, Dozun, Dosheng, and even countless strong men from the 8 ancient tribes all spoke out in horror. Facing such terrifying power, even the power of the ancestral talisman and the original talisman were completely incomparable. In the martial arts world, the faces of the strong men in the samsara mirror were pale, and their whole bodies could not help but tremble. Lie down, damn it, who can withstand this? After this move, I am afraid that our entire god realm and our gods will die. As the strongest god king in the god realm, Poseidon Shura 0.9 god Tang San couldn't help but cursed, and a pool of yellow liquid full of peculiar smell continued to spread down. Is this the true power of the god of destruction? This is too scary. In the world of Dragon Ball, Vegeta's eyes were extremely wide, and his whole body couldn't help but tremble. This powerful aura was so powerful that even he in the dark blue form was far inferior. Even fighting against them at this moment, Jiren is not as good as Topo in his god of destruction form. Hateful, Universe 11 has actually cultivated a candidate for the god of destruction. It seems we have to find a way to cultivate one too. In the god of destruction, Virus couldn't help but frown, thinking about a personal choice in his mind. Frisia. Not good. It's not like he had never replaced the god of destruction, and his ambition was too big, so he was not suitable. Gaku. But this kid knows how to fight, and he will definitely have to fight with the god of destruction from other universes. That will definitely not work. Vegeta. Well, this guy seems to be able to do it. Although he has extremely strong self-confidence, but if he can compete with Gaku, he should be willing, and his personality is more suitable. In this regard, the gods of destruction in various universes have also begun to think about their candidates for the god of destruction, so as to participate in the future tournament of power. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 229. In the picture, after defeating Frisia, Topo shifted his target to number 17. Facing No. 17's overwhelming blue energy bombs like a perpetual motion machine, Topo's destructive energy destroyed them all. Even the damage to its peak cannot be done. Just like a wisp of breeze blowing by, the stones on the ring were destroyed into dots of starlight in an instant when they touched the destructive energy outside Topo's body. Facing the extremely powerful Topo, the god of destruction, number 17 tried his best, but still could not cause any damage to it. He could only avoid Topo's attack in an extremely embarrassing manner. Topo, the god of destruction, was not only powerful in destroying energy. Even the previous flash of justice became extremely powerful. The huge fragments that were blasted away from the arena were shattered by the constant waves of light, turning into countless dust and dissipating in the realm of nothingness. You can't escape, you're finished now. Destroy. With a roar, huge purple-black energy light balls continued to condense in the palm of Tokpo's hand. Boom. At this moment, a huge stone fell from the air, cancelling out the light balls filled with destructive energy. And this move was made by Frisia, who was originally defeated. As the saying goes, enemies are extremely jealous when they see each other. When he got up to him, he beat Frisia violently. He even held his head with one hand and could only continue to suffer miserably, shouting, "Ah ah ah ah." Amidst Frisia's pitiful screams, countless strong men in the world were terrified. Even Frisia, who looked at the scene, felt deep fear, and his whole body couldn't help but tremble. In the future, the Golden Frisia Form 04 was easily defeated by Tokpo, the candidate for the God of Destruction. How is this possible? How can the God of Destruction be so powerful? In the screen. Just when Tokpo was about to kill Frisia and number 17, under the fierce offensive of Gaku and Vegeta on the other side, Jiren actually fell into a disadvantage. So, Tokpo and Jiren looked at each other, nodded to each other, and decided to temporarily change their opponents. After that, it's Deep Blue Vegeta versus Tokpo, the God of Destruction, and Gaku versus Jiren. Facing Tokpo, who was far more powerful than him, even Vegeta in his dark blue form could only be helplessly beaten by Tokpo. And just when Tokpo was about to kill Vegeta, the previous scenes could not help but appear in Ta's mind. Bulma, Trunks, Daughter Bra, and the promise with Gabe. Boom. As the dark blue flames exploded around Vegeta again, the powerful god's aura suddenly rose again, and the terrifying aura was approaching Tokpo, the god of destruction. But this time, in front of Vegeta, whose strength surged again, even Tokpo could only be beaten passively. Even the destructive energy on his body was blasted away by Vegeta with one punch. After that, Vegeta used the self-destruction method he used when facing Majin Buu, and Tokpo used destructive energy. The collision of the two powerful forces caused the entire world to tremble. Finally, under Vegeta's explosion, Tokpo's destructive energy was destroyed by Vegeta, and he was kicked out of the ring and disqualified from the competition. At this point, Jiren is the only one left in Universe 11, and Gaku, number 17, Vegeta, and Frisia are still in Universe 7. This final battle is about to break out. Well done, Vegeta. At this moment, the fans of the Saiyans from all major dimensions cheered, and the expressions on their faces were extremely exciting. Unexpectedly, never imagined. This prince of the Saiyans, Vegeta, who is the second oldest in 10,000 years, actually defeated Tokpo, who was in the realm of the god of destruction. This is really amazing. Ha ha ha, have you seen it? Kakarot, Vegeta, am not a vegetarian. Now you know how powerful I am. In the world of Dragon Ball, Vegeta couldn't help but laugh, feeling extremely happy in his heart. Now he is also a person who can fight with the god of destruction, although Tokpo's strength is only barely reaching the level of destruction. He is in the realm of God, but it is already amazing that his future self can defeat him. Nice kill, Vegeta. It seems like you are indeed the best candidate to be the god of destruction. In the god of destruction, Beerus's face was full of excitement, and his heart was extremely excited. Now, there are 4 people in the 6th universe on the field, and there is only one Jiren in the 11th universe. 4 Fight 1, why do you need to watch this? If you can't beat this, then just go home and farm. Bulma, I didn't expect you to be so important in Vegeta's heart. It's really amazing that you can make him surpass his limit again. On Earth, Klin and others shouted excitedly, looking at Bulma with ambiguous eyes. Bulma also felt very embarrassed in everyone's eyes. Even she, who has always been cheerful and generous, felt embarrassed. He couldn't help but show the shyness of a little woman. However, Yamcha's face on the side was not so good looking. Although he was very happy that Vegeta could defeat Topo, he thought about his ex-girlfriend's future relationship with Vegeta. When the towers are together, I can't help but feel a little pain in my heart. Not yet, my future self actually lost, to Asian. How is this possible? In Universe 11, Topo's face was filled with disbelief, and his whole body couldn't help but tremble. Now, due to his defeat, it is very likely that Universe 11 will lose just like that. Hateful, unexpectedly, even Topo, who became a candidate for the God of Destruction, could not defeat that Vegeta. Besides, the clown God of Destruction also looked a little ugly, but he did not blame Topo. After all, it can be seen that Topo has tried his best. The power that Vegeta finally exploded was really terrifying. Even he felt palpitations. Next, leave it to the future me. At this time, Jiren on the side spoke. His face was extremely calm, and he was not at all flustered by Topo's appearance. Hearing this, everyone also became quiet, and looking at Jiren in the picture, his heart ignited again. Lost hope. To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. Jiren's strength is not just as simple as it seems. In the picture, after using the self-destruction energy, Vegeta did not death, because his strength has greatly increased, so using this move will not directly lead to his own death, it will just use up most of his energy. It's so ugly, it turns out to be this level. In the battlefield, looking at Topo who was eliminated, Jiren's face was full of disdain, and he was disappointed with Topo's strength. Unexpectedly, Topo, who became a candidate for the God of Destruction, was nothing more than that. That's all, leave the next step to me. Ah 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 ah. As Jiren roared, red magma-like flames suddenly exploded around him, and the terrifying aura instantly swept across the world. The entire arena continued to collapse at this moment, and waves of terrifying ripples continued. Spreading out, the dazzling red light instantly penetrated the entire starry sky. Boom! As the dazzling light dissipated, Jiren's whole body was wrapped in energy like a red sundae. It looked like it was being burned by flames. The unparalleled powerful energy crushed everything around it, and even the space could not help but twisted. This powerful energy, the immeasurable terrifying aura, made countless strong men in the world tremble crazily. Even a being as powerful as Saitama could no longer get up on his knees, and his throat seemed to be strangled. It's so numb that it's hard to breathe. This is the real strong man. His fighting power is enough to destroy the entire universe in an instant, turning everything in the world into dust and falling into eternal silence. That guy shouldn't be a monster. In the picture, even number 17 and others could not help but look horrified, and felt a terrifying sense of oppression all over their bodies. Facing such a powerful Jiren, Goku, Vegeta, and number 17 once again suddenly he exploded and rushed towards Jiren's direction. Faced with the siege of the three top powerhouses in the universe, Jiren didn't have the slightest panic on his face, and even punched a child and easily knocked them away. After knocking Vegeta back to normal and easily crushing Goku's turtle-style Kagong, Jiren was suddenly attacked by the breathless number 17. Under the violent bombardment of energy bombs, Jiren was in this ring for the first time. The upper body was injured, and even the back of the battle suit was broken. Afterwards, under the anger of Jiren, Goku-san 510 was easily defeated. Even the Golden Frieza who came to attack was shot away by Jiren with a glare and a punch, and he lay down again. After asking about the wish of number 17, the clown god of destruction also told everyone present and all the audiences in the world why Jiren is so powerful and why he wants to get the Super Dragon Balls. It turns out that a long time ago, Jillian was still a big-eyed, bald little kid who grew up happily under the care of his parents. However, one day, Jillian returned home happily, but he never thought that his parents had been killed by an unknown villain. Jillian burst into tears, but Jillian's master saved him and kept him alive. After that, Jiren began to embark on the path of becoming stronger and pursuing justice, and there were more and more partners around him. But the good times did not last long, and the villain appeared again. Although Jillian already had many partners around him, in the face of the powerful villain, his partners were killed one after another, and even his master died in this battle. Jillian once again lost his closest relatives. I wanted to cheer up again, but the other friends who were lucky enough to survive were frightened by the villain's powerful strength. The weak could only obey the strong. So far, Jiren has become a lonely man. Even his once trusted partners betrayed him and left him. In this regard, Jiren deeply feels that trust is worthless. Only true strength is absolute justice. Hard fist is absolute. Victory will get everything. No need for emotions, just be a powerful machine, and this is why Jiren is so powerful. After hearing Jiren's story, most of the powerful people in the world fell silent, feeling extremely sympathetic to Jiren's experience. And this also allowed them to truly understand why Jiren is so powerful. Yes. Only by being strong can you protect the people you want to protect and get everything you want. Having truly unparalleled strength is absolute justice. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 230. You said so much, so delicious. In the picture, Jillian raised his hand and blasted an orange energy ball, sending number 17 flying away. After listening to Jillian's story, number 17 mockingly expressed to Jillian, "Do you think that as long as you hit him, can winning bring him back to the past?" There was no surprise at all. After hearing what number 17 said, Jiren suddenly hit number 17 with a hammer and sent him flying to an area close to Gaku and others. Then he jumped up and arrived at the boulder suspended in the void not far away. Strength is absolute, and strength will forgive everything, even the past. Hate yourself for your lack of strength. Looking at the figures of the three people, Jiren clasped his hands together, and a blazing orange light suddenly shone out from his palms. The terrifying energy continued to condense, enveloping a terrifying power that could destroy the world. Boom. Then, Jiren's orange energy bomb suddenly exploded, and an earth-shaking explosion that resounded through the sky suddenly sounded. The dazzling light was like a small sun explosion, constantly exuding terrifying power. At the critical moment, the green protective shield around number 17 suddenly opened, and the figure stood in front of Gaku and Vegeta. The green energy barrier tried to resist Jiren's terrifying attack. "Hey, Son Gaku, Vegeta, I gave up taking cruises, you have me to thank, it gives me a chance to rest. Sacrificing yourself for others is quite humane. I like it." Looking at the bodies of Gaku and Vegeta, No 17's faint voice came out. As No 17's voice fell, a green protective shield enveloped the bodies of Gaku and Vegeta respectively, and the energy was transferred as much as possible to the energy shield covering Vegeta and Gaku. Boom 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 boom. As the dazzling white light suddenly exploded and illuminated the entire Wuzhija, a huge explosion suddenly rang out, countless gravels continued to break in the aftermath, and the entire arena continued to shake. You saved a life, and thank him for sacrificing himself to save you who are weak. Looking at number 17 as the light dissipated and disappeared without a trace, Jiren's faint voice came out. Number 17 sacrificed himself. In order to defeat Gaku and the others in an instant, he not only created a barrier, but also detonated himself to offset Jiren's moves. That is to say, since number 17 blew himself up, Jiren is not counted as killing No 17. At this moment, countless people in the world could not help but shed tears of emotion, and they admired number 17 with great admiration in their hearts. "Jiren, you kid, just let me beat you down." In the picture, Vegeta stood up with difficulty. Although he didn't even have the body to transform into a Super Saiyan, he still rushed towards Jiren with determination, and kept hitting Jiren with the fists in his hands because in his family, he has his beloved wife Bulma, his little princess Bulla, Trunks, and his agreement with his apprentice Gabe. These beliefs support him. No matter how hard Jiren's fist is, Vegeta will not give up. Intend. Facing Vegeta's weak fist, Jiren punched him away. Universe 7 must win. Facing Jiren's heavy fist, which was as heavy as a mountain, Vegeta stood up with difficulty in the eyes of everyone who was extremely surprised. Kaori, Vegeta. Lying on the ground, Goku shouted Vegeta's name with difficulty, but his strength was too much, and his physical strength was no longer enough to support him standing up. Grabbing Vegeta's fist, Jiren hit him the uppercut severely knocked him away, but the tenacious Vegeta covered the small gravel in the ring and recalled the faith in his heart. Under everyone's incredible eyes, the real man Vegeta was struggling stood up and joked that Jiren's fist was not painful at all. Despite the disparity in strength, Vegeta never put down his fist. After grabbing Jiren's palm, Vegeta turned around and wanted to throw Jiren away. But the next second, boom! Jiren's arm suddenly erupted with blazing light, knocking Vegeta away. After beating Vegeta hard again, Jiren looked at Vegeta who was kneeling on the ground and said calmly, "You have no chance of winning." "No, it can't be over yet." Standing up with difficulty, Vegeta's left eye had been beaten so hard that he couldn't open it. His whole body felt like it was about to fall apart, and his body was already close to numbness. The winner has been decided. But what is it that makes you resist like this? Looking at Vegeta's appearance, Jiren's heart was full of doubts. He didn't understand. Why is this guy able to stand up again and again? It's obvious that he has almost no physical strength left. His numb body and tired nerves should have been giving him constant reminders. Who knows? With a faint smile, Vegeta, who had a bruised nose and face, continued, "After all, you, a paralyzed bastard like you, can't possibly understand what someone is fighting to protect." The ultimate flash. After suffering a weak flash cannon, Jiren grabbed Vegeta's fist and said calmly to him, "I admit that you have noble self-esteem, but you're done." Bang! Without the slightest hesitation, Jiren suddenly punched Vegeta in the face, and the terrifying force sent him flying away. "I didn't expect that. I couldn't fulfill my promise. I'm so useless. Big idiot. Sorry, Bulma, Gabe. Kakarot, the rest is up to you." On the way to fly upside down, Vegeta's voice spread throughout the world, and he used all his strength to squeeze out the last energy from his already overstretched body and launch it out, slowly integrating the golden light into Goku's body. At this moment, most people in the world have high respect for Vegeta, whether they are men or women. Vegeta. There is no doubt that he is a real man. Next, let's rely on Kakarot. Go in peace, Vegeta. Finally, under the gaze of everyone, Wukong slowly stood up. Although Jiren is the only one left at this moment, everyone knows that Goku cannot defeat Jiren. To read exciting novels, go to Philo Novel Network. But, faith will never fall. Vegeta, I have received your thoughts. As Wukong's voice fell, sky blue flames suddenly exploded on him, and the powerful aura of God continued to spread out. His eyes were filled with unprecedented determination. On the other side, Vegeta was eliminated. Slowly recovered after eating a fairy bean. Vegeta, you are truly amazing. Looking at Vegeta's figure, Beerus couldn't help but praise. Yes, it's good to be alive. Besides, the Master Whis also showed a happy smile. Everything that follows, leave it to Wukong. They all believe that man will be able to create miracles again. Back on the battlefield, what is regrettable is that even with number 17 and Vegeta delaying time, Goku's strength is still qualitatively the same as Jiren's. Now he has no possibility of defeating Jiren. Soon after finally regaining some physical strength, Goku was once again beaten back to normal by Jiren. Under Jiren's fierce offensive, Wukong was quickly unable to withstand it and was forced to the edge of the ring. It's over. The red energy was burning like a flame on Jiren's right fist. Looking at Goku's figure, Jiren's fist suddenly shot out without any hesitation. This moment, Gohan, Beerus and others in the audience could not help but open their mouths and widen their eyes. They couldn't believe that Goku would be defeated like this. Kakarot, Vegeta on the side shouted even louder. Not only them, but all the audiences in the world held their breath at this moment and stared at the scene with their eyes wide open. In the picture, facing Jiren Fist, but Wukong seemed to be stunned, recalling Jiren's words and the appearance of his companions, and their shouts. Everyone's trust is placed in me, so I will not be defeated. Moment. As the fist fell, Jiren's face showed an incredible look, and Wukong's figure appeared behind Jiren like a ghost, with his eyes closed tightly. Just like the gentle breeze blowing, a faint sacred white light appeared on Wukong's body, and the fiery breath emerged from his body again. The ultimate freedom of mind comes again. When Wukong opened his eyes again, his eyes were filled with holy light and shadow. Facing Jiren's fierce offensive, Wukong easily dodged his attacks, and then he hit with a casual punch. On Jiren's belly, boom. It seemed like a light punch, but the terrifying force made Jillian foam at the mouth instantly, and severe pain continued to spread throughout his body. How can it be? In an instant, everyone in the audience's eyes widened with disbelief on their faces. Not only them, but also the faces of the audience from all over the world had expressions of disbelief. Some long famous strong men stood up abruptly, opening their mouths to their thinnest faces, revealing unprecedented horror. What on earth is going on? Kakarot, who entered into the ultimate intention kung fu, beat Jiren like this with just one punch. Boom. As the white light suddenly shined out, wisps of beautiful light emerged from Wukong's body again, and the holy and majestic aura continued to spread out, as if the sacred ancient gods were coming, once again reflected in everything in front of the audience. Kakarot, this man once again surpassed the limit and entered a state of freedom and ultimate willpower. This time, Wukong is very likely to no longer temporarily enter the state of ultimate intention kung fu, but is likely to perfectly master the ultimate intention kung fu. Boom. Post. Under the collision of the two people's breaths, the entire arena continued to tremble, and countless gravels continued to rise into the sky. The two people only had each other in their eyes, and there were no more unnecessary thoughts in their hearts. Defeat the opponent and win this game. And at this moment, there are only 2 minutes left, and the final victory or defeat will finally begin here. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 231. At this moment, the audience present, including the god of destruction, the angels, the great priest, the king, and even everyone in the heavens and worlds all turned their attention to the two of them. With everyone's hope, who can win between Kakarot, who is in the ultimate state of freedom, and Jiren, the most powerful warrior in the universe, who surpasses the god of destruction in a mortal body. The deeper you enter the realm of God, the greater the burden on your body will be if you break through the limits. There is no one left to help, and there is no means of recovery left. The moment the light in those eyes loses its light again, it will be when everything becomes a foregone conclusion. In the picture, as Wukong took the lead in attacking, an invisible wave suddenly spread, and the two fists suddenly touched together. Boom! Where the two fists collided, it was like a bright star exploding. The entire starry sky suddenly trembled at this moment. The blazing explosion light continued to explode in the void, and the entire arena continued to collapse and explode. Wukong, who had entered the state of his ultimate mind power, collided wildly with Jiren. The battlefield between the two of them had already spread across the entire ring. The punches fired every second were measured in units of hundreds of millions, and the speed of the punches was the speed has already reached its limit, surpassing the speed of light and surpassing time. The speed of the two fists was so fast that even the gods of destruction present had to pay full attention to see clearly. Audiences in other dimensions might not have been able to see the two of them if the screen had not been slowed down. The sacred holy light and the fiery red light are constantly intertwined. The aftermath of the collision between the two sweeps across the entire starry sky. The sky is filled with countless after-images of them, and Wukong's movements become even more sharp. Turtle-style Qigong wave. Continuously dodging Jiren's attacks, the blue light in Wukong's palm continued to condense, the terrifying breath of God continued to pour into it, and the unparalleled holy blue light illuminated the entire starry sky, far beyond it surpassed any Qigong wave in the past. Boom! 800 As the blue Qigong wave suddenly blasted out, the blazing blue light instantly illuminated the entire Wushija, and countless rays of blue light continued to soar into the sky at the ring. Then, the beautiful blue light wrapped with extremely amazing energy bombarded Jiren's body. However, when the holy blue light slowly dissipated, everyone was shocked to find that Jiren used an orange energy ball to resist Wukong's turtle-style Qigong wave. This guy Jiren. Through observing the limits of Sun Wukong's movements and power in a previous battle and the Battle of Kefla, Jiren has already seen through it. Boom! As Jiren shouted loudly, the blazing orange light suddenly enveloped Gaku, full of destructive power that shook the heartstrings of everyone present. The light dissipated, and Wukong used the airflow of turtle-style Qigong to turn into a barrier, blocking Jiren's attack, but his body fell to the ground helplessly. After all, Wukong's free ultimate intention Kung Fu is not complete at the moment. Although his defense is impeccable, his attack is pale and weak. With Jiren who has the same combat power, it is impossible to win. But at this moment, only Vegeta among the people present firmly believed that Kakarot could win. Although Kakarot's ultimate intention Kung Fu is not complete, it means that it is possible to become stronger than it is now. You know, in this power conference, within a limited time, Dacians have exceeded their own limits more than once, whether it's a Saiyan from the 7th universe or a Saiyan from the 6th universe. They are all constantly pushing their limits, so Kakarot can still do it this time. This is the potential of the Saiyans. There is no strongest Saiyan, only stronger Saiyans. Kakarot, I entrust all my pride and my promise to you. If you lose, I will never forgive you. What is the realm of God? Go beyond it? Then defeat Jiren and Kakarot. As Vegeta shouted, Gaku once again burst out with a powerful aura in mid-air. Blue light and holy light continued to emerge, and waves of terrifying fluctuations swept out. Deep. Taking a deep breath, Gaku and Jiren looked at each other, and their bodies collided together again. Amidst the extremely exciting music, blue thunder and lightning and lavender smoke continued to emerge. At this moment, the attack speed of the two reached the extreme speed, golden explosive light continued to roar out, and waves of invisible fluctuations swept out in mid-air. The movements of Wukong and Jiren appeared extremely smooth, just like those of a martial arts master. The duel is normal, looks smooth, and feels smooth. And, under the gaze of everyone, Wukong, who was fighting against Jiren, actually closed his eyes, carefully feeling everything in his body, and allowed his body to control the ultimate intention Kung Fu. The blue light expanded even more, and his breath soaring again. At this moment, Wukong faced Jiren without any distracting thoughts, constantly facing the battle itself with his whole body and mind, letting himself burn fiercely and fierily. The destruction of the universe, the difference in power, confusion, anxiety, and fear were all dissolved in the flames. Nothing, All I feel is myself, my opponent, and this battle. Gradually, this understanding is also getting further and further away, fiery and high speed, breaking through the realm deeper than instinct, in front of it. Exactly, the ultimate freedom of mind. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Jiren in the sky burst out with a blazing red light, and fists like laser rain continued to fall. Invisible fluctuations continued to spread out, spreading to the entire Wu realm, and Wukong stood up. He lowered his head on the gravel, his fists like light blue energy shields, constantly passively resisting Jiren's attacks. The winner will finally be determined this time. That guy Beerus should give up. In the audience, the god of destruction and Kaio of Universe 11 couldn't help but smile excitedly. No matter whether we run out of strength first or collapse under our feet, we just have to watch until the end, dear. Besides, the angel couldn't help but say. Now everything will finally come to light. However, under everyone's shocked gazes, Wukong's palms began to clench tightly, and his palms that had been passively resisting began to counterattack. Spark, looking at the scene on the battlefield, Topo's voice suddenly came out. Huh. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. Hearing this, everyone was surprised to find, sparks actually appeared in the overwhelming fist pressure. It was the impact caused by the collision of fist pressure. The light blue barrier formed by the palms began to change from passive to active and launched a counterattack. How can it be? That guy Sun Wukong is actually fighting back. Everyone in the auditorium and even the audience in the world couldn't help but stare. Although they couldn't see clearly the shadows of Goku and Jiren's fists, they could clearly see the blossoms exploding like sparks at this moment. Impact. Accompanied by the exciting and passionate music, Wukong began to raise his fists continuously, and his arms were shaking as if they had surpassed Jujuro Ioya countless times. Boom 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 boom. The red and blue rays of light were constantly colliding at this moment. Wukong's gaze was directed towards the direction of Jiren. A blue ray of light rose into the sky and crossed countless red punches, landing heavily on Jiren. Even the belly. Boom. Impossible. Under the horrified gaze of the clown god of destruction, Jiren suddenly spat out a mouthful of foam. Ah 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 ah. As Wukong roared, the cameras suddenly reached high in the sky. The bottom of Wu Zhiji seemed to be shrouded in blue-white starlight. The aura like the scene of the Milky Way continued to spread, instantly surrounding the entire arena. Facing such a shocking scene, the entire audience in the world was boiling with excitement. Their cognition was constantly refreshed at this moment. Looking at the blue-white light that rendered the entire realm of nothingness, they felt endless in their hearts. Unparalleled shock. Sun Wukong, for the solid blow just now, and the enthusiasm that has risen to this point in order to defeat me, I must give you a response. Looking at this astonishing scene, the corners of Jillian's mouth couldn't help but raise slightly. The flame-like red energy suddenly exploded around him, instantly covering the entire surrounding starry sky. Unparalleled pressure continued to sweep out, and the red energy suddenly exploded around him. The blazing light collided with the blue-white light. That's it, end of it. As the clown god of destruction shouted, the blazing red light filling the air continued to merge into the golden energy bomb in Jiren's hand. Unparalleled energy aura continued to pour into it, and the terrifying power of destroying the world swept across. Full dimension. Boom. As Jiren's voice fell, golden energy bombs suddenly fell towards Wukong. However, as the golden energy bombs fell, the starry sky formed by Wukong's blue-white aura like the Milky Way suddenly disappeared, and the entire starry sky turned into nothingness again. Everyone's eyes widened, not knowing what was happening at this moment. Even the music in the picture suddenly stopped. Kakarot. What happened to him? As soon as the camera turned, Jillian felt an unparalleled shock in his heart. The terrifying aura coming from behind, the powerful aura as silent as an abyss, made him feel extremely frightened. As Jiren slowly turned around, what caught his and everyone else's eyes was Gaku's back. At this moment, Wukong's body has undergone earth-shaking changes. His body exudes a sacred and white light. Different from the previous one, the light covering his body is extremely blazing, like a white aurora. Even Wukong, his original appearance and clothes, can no longer be seen clearly. With the white aurora, Gaku showed an extremely divine appearance, easily eliminating the energy bombs that Jiren blasted with all his strength. Just when Jiren rushed towards Gaku, his body suddenly dodged. While dodging Jiren's fist, he did not forget to fight back. Even though Jiren's eyes glowed red, his attack exploded in the starry sky with Gaku's subsequent swing. At this moment, the gods of destruction in the audience stood up one after another, staring at the scenes on the field with extremely solemn expressions. Despite their character, there was only shock left in their hearts at this moment. No doubt. The Saiyan on the field, the Saiyan named Son Goku, reached a height that they had never reached before. That is the pinnacle of the ultimate freedom of mind. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 232. In the picture, after sending Jiren flying hard, Gaku's body also suddenly changed. Under the gaze of all the audiences in all the worlds and dimensions, under the dull eyes of countless powerful people, Wukong was bathed in white light like an aurora. The white light on his body turned into white light dots of planets and continued to disappear in the starry sky, thus revealing his appearance at the moment. White pupils, eyebrows that look like white light, and white hair that flows in the wind. This is real, reaching the pinnacle, the ultimate freedom of mind. That is a realm that even the god of destruction cannot reach. Almost instantly, most of the audience in the world suddenly widened their eyes, and the entire audience stood up. Looking at the transformation in front of them to the extreme, they have reached a perfect creature beyond their knowledge. Their bodies were trembling constantly at this moment, and the expressions on their faces were so shocked that it was difficult to describe in words. Only actions could represent the shock in their hearts at this moment. This moment, countless spectators could not help but kneel down slowly, their eyes full of admiration and adoration. Kakarot. As a Saiyan, an inferior warrior who is ignored. At this moment, he has reached a state beyond their cognition. At this moment, Wukong even surpasses even the gods of destruction at the top of the universe, reaching a level beyond their reach. Bleach World, Naruto World, Fairy Tale World, Madoka Magica World, Saint Seiya World, Moon World, Hunter World, Tutor World, Food Captive World, Daily Animation World, Comedy World, Martial Arts World, Film and Television World, Fairy World, the world of chivalry, the world of fantasy. Audiences from almost all over the world felt a throbbing from the depths of their souls at this moment. The indescribable shock had spread through their souls to every corner of their bodies, making their scalps numb. There is a coldness in the bone marrow all over his body. What kind of creature has Kakarot turned into? No. This can no longer be described with the word creature, this is God. This guy, perhaps it is above the laws of the universe and beyond the understanding of countless beings. The true body of Isaiah, comparable to the god of destruction. Faced with such a nearly invincible existence, villains from many dimensions have already fallen into deep despair. An unprecedented sense of powerlessness is constantly emerging in their bodies. They want to rule the world and destroy the world, it's all bullshit. Kakarot, you are so awesome, I'm on fire. Fire Dragon King Natsu, Uzumaki Naruto, Kurosaki Ichigo, Monkey D. Luffy, Ikeda Tsunayashi, Inuyasha, Guojing, Yanguo, Xiao Yan, Lin Dong, Luo Feng, Yefan, Shihao and other beings are all I felt extremely passionate, and the desire for power in my heart surged to the critical point at this moment. In the Dragon Ball world, all the angels and gods of destruction widened their eyes at this moment, and their pupils kept shrinking. Shocked to the extreme. Even the great priest in the king's palace showed a surprised look, and his evaluation of Kakarot in his heart rose a lot again. In the picture, Weiss was asked the exact answer after that. Beerus's face was filled with an excited smile, and his fangs were clearly displayed. How can I put it, this kid is so impressive. His posture, his light, yes, that is the real ultimate freedom of mind. The camera came to Wukong. At this moment, his upper body was naked. Blue-white light was constantly surrounding him. Black invisible light was constantly flashing. His luminous silver hair and extremely sharp eyes made people feel an extremely lofty awe. It is as if the gods are the spokesperson of Wukong at this moment. The real battle begins now, Jiren. Looking at Jiren's figure on the ground, Wukong's extremely calm voice came out. There was no joy or sorrow, only full of fighting spirit. In everyone's attention, Wukong stepped forward and turned into a stream of white light. He rushed towards Jiren's direction and was behind Jiren in an instant. The mountain peaks in the distance suddenly exploded. And Jiren's face was also scratched by Wukong's fist wind. A trace of blood. Son Wukong, don't think that you are pretentious because your power has improved. Clenching his fist, Jiren's body suddenly shot towards Wukong. The fist with terrifying power and incomparable power fell towards Wukong. After several punches, Jiren's figure was still there. Chasing after him, he collided fiercely with Goku. Faced with Goku, who was at the peak of his ultimate freedom, even Jiren used his full strength without any reservations. Whoosh! 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 On the ground, the overwhelming shadows of fists continued to disperse, and violent sonic booms continued to explode. Just when Jiren punched with all his strength, Wukong suddenly kicked Jiren's body away. In the process of flying upside down, Jiren stepped suddenly and his body came into the air. An orange energy ball continued to expand above his head, and then suddenly crashed towards Goku. At the same time, Wukong's left palm stretched out a blue light wave carrying dark blue thunder, exuding unparalleled terrifying power. The huge energy light ball bombarded by Jiren was instantly blown away, and there was a violent explosion. Starry sky. Due to the collision of breaths, the sky blue breath turned into blue flames that spread throughout the arena. The alternative beauty was displayed in front of everyone's eyes, even the snake playing in the endless fire domain. Ah no, Emperor Yan, who was playing with fire, had his eyes widened at this moment. What a nice view! How scary! What level of battle is this? Is this really what human beings can achieve? Was it erased by you? To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. As soon as he finished speaking, Jiren rushed towards Goku again, and the two bodies collided violently again. What was completely opposite to before was that he needed to use all his strength at this moment. The person fighting has changed from Wukong to himself. Bang 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 bang. After a few seconds of fierce collision, Wukong's fists landed on Jiren's body continuously, knocking him back. Boom, boom, boom. While being knocked back, Jiren's countless energy bombs continued to fall towards Wukong's direction, but they were dodged with great agility. Breaking through Jiren and blasting out layers of light waves, Wukong approached Jiren again and launched a fierce offensive against him. The fists wrapped in white light, like meteor showers, kept falling on Jiren's body. Coupled with the extremely passionate and blood-boiling music, the audience in many dimensions became excited at this moment. Such a shocking scene, this is the real battle. The scene kept changing. After blocking Jiren's full blow, Goku suddenly punched Jiren in the abdomen, sending Jiren's body flying away. This scene also made everyone in the audience feel extremely excited. Boom! Under Wukong's gaze, the blazing fire suddenly exploded countless rubbles, and Jiren's panting appearance appeared in front of everyone's eyes. This is impossible, I will not lose, there is no way I will lose. Facing such a huge gap, Jillian's face was full of anger, Strength is justice, strength is absolute. It's meaningless if you can't win, and you'll lose everything if you lose. Just like back then, I don't want to be treated like that again, so, I will never lose. Ah. As Jiren's roar came out, the battle suit that belonged to the proud battle was suddenly burst by his muscles that had expanded several dimensions, and it turned bright red. The light continued to explode, sweeping across the entire Wuzhija, and the terrifying aura on its body expanded violently. Under the sweep of the red flame light, the collection and management arena was blazing with flames, and a purgatory-like scene was reflected in the crowd. In his eyes. As the violent explosion subsided, Jillian's whole body was burning with pink light, which continued to surround him. The unparalleled power continued to spread, and the entire void was shrouded in pink light. Continuously twisting, Jiren's aura surged to the extreme. Seeing this, even Wukong, who was bathed in the blue-white light, had solemn eyes at this moment. Under the nervous attention of everyone in the world, this unprecedented decisive battle that shocked the world has begun. Bang 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 bang. Without the slightest hesitation, Jiren's body exploded out, and roars continued to be heard. The fists in his hands were packed with unparalleled power, and they continued to fall towards Wukong. The fists of the two of them kept flying in the void. Colliding with each other, waves of invisible ripples and terrifying hurricanes swept out. No matter what happens, I will never lose. As Jiren's voice fell, his fists suddenly burst out with a dazzling light, and the terrifying power exploded instantly, and the unparalleled force knocked Wukong out. Using me. In Jiren's roar, the dazzling orange light wave, carrying unparalleled terrifying energy, suddenly blasted towards Wukong's direction. The entire void was continuously penetrated, and everything in the atmosphere was wiped out in an instant. At the same time, Wukong's palms also quickly gathered together, and azure blue light waves continued to condense in his palms. The dazzling azure blue light waves instantly penetrated the void, blasting towards Jiren with an unparalleled attitude. The light waves rushed away. Boom! The blue Qigong waves suddenly collided violently with the magma-like hot light waves. The terrifying power poured out continuously. Two waves of energy that could destroy the universe covered the starry sky, constantly colliding in the void. This will be the strongest confrontation recorded in history. Countless people's eyes are staring at this scene. However, in front of Jiren, who exploded with all his power, Wukong, the blue Qigong wave, was actually pushed back in an instant. Purple thunder burst out continuously, suddenly blasting away the blue Qigong wave and falling towards Wukong without any reservation. You're done. In Jiren's declaration of victory, the orange energy light wave suddenly enveloped Wukong's body, and the terrifying power instantly fell on the entire ring. The continuously exploding orange semicircular energy waves enveloped most of the ring, causing countless rubbles to continuously turn into dust.